Hello everyone, how are you all doing? Welcome to my channel Beyond Headlines Current Affairs by Lakshmi. Today our topic is state and sovereignty. So this topic is basically useful for students who are writing intermediate exams in Telangana and also for others who are appearing for various competitive exams with political science as their important subjects. So, uh, right. So let us discuss about state. So what is state? State is an organization that is established to regulate and control the external behavior of the people. State is where people come and live together in harmony, and there will be one government which will be governing them, and also the population of the state, the territory, and the sovereignty. All these factors form an important thing. So much so they are called as essential elements of the state. And before discussing the essential elements, we have to understand that the states that we see in the modern time and the states that are there earlier are not the same. So the origin of the state goes back to where man first, where he was a fruit gatherer, and then he became a hunter, and later on he became a settler where he started doing agriculture and taming of animals. And from there, they started living in a community. And this community later on grew up into a society. And society, you find all kinds of activities like social, economic, political. But the problem here is there was no political organization that was there. So, and there was chaos. So, in order to bring this chaos under control and regulate the behavior of the people and made sure that there was scope for peaceful coexistence for everyone, uh, the state has come into picture. So, there are various theories that suggest how the state was evolved, and some of them are divine theory, and we also have the most rational one, the social contract theory, wherein a contract was signed between the stronger ones and the weaker ones. So much so state came into existence as a result of this contract. So this knowledge is important, because unless we understand how the state is formed, we cannot analyze how the evolution of the state or nature of the state. So as I said earlier, since man came into existence as a community person, state started to evolve. And in this kind of situation where society is there but the state is not there, there was absolute freedom wherein everybody was doing whatever they wanted to do, and there was chaos, there was anarchy. So there was always this tussle between the stronger ones and the weaker ones. The stronger ones usually dominated the weaker ones, so the weaker ones are not able to enjoy their freedom. So in order to put an end to that and make sure that they also enjoy the freedom, they came into they formed the contract. As I said earlier, the stronger ones will protect the weaker ones will provide for the stronger ones. That was the basis of the contract. So from then, state came into picture. So after state came into picture, when we look at the ancient situation, like especially in Europe, ancient states, the study of political science actually starts with the study of city-states, city-states. So polis is the word for city-state, which means polis means city-state, and city-state itself is a state which is the size of a city, which is self-sufficient and which is independent from other states. These kind of states existed in ancient Greece and Rome. And if we can look, similar states also existed actually in India. We call them as Mahajanapadas. Even though they are ruled by the kings, the opinion, Janapada is where the people live. So the opinion of the people counted in India. That's why they are called as Janapadas, Mahajanapadas. So in these states, the study of these city-states form the basis of the study of political science, as we all know. So now coming back to the essential elements. So for a state to be identified as a state, we need five elements. The fifth one being very recent addition. Four are very essential. First one is population. Second one is territory. Third one is government. Fourth one is sovereignty. And the fifth one is international recognition. So first one, let us discuss about population. Population is the people who live in the state where they are living permanently. So again, this raises a question. So non-permanent people like nomads and gypsies, can they be called as population? No, they are not part of population because they don't stay anywhere at a particular place. And places which don't have population cannot be counted as states. The deserts, the North Pole and the South Pole, where the population is not present, they are not considered as states. And population again gives rise to different kinds of people, wherein we can categorize them into two ways, citizens and aliens. Citizens have all the rights that the state bestows upon them, whereas aliens are people who live in the state, but they are not citizens. So under aliens, we can add minors, we can add refugees, we can add immigrants. These are the guys who come under the classification of aliens. So refugees, we know they are temporary. Immigrants, they come for various purposes. Either the immigration can be temporary or permanent. And aliens, people who do not have the citizenship, that is a blanket thing. Okay, so that is about kind of people in the population. And what is the number people should be living in the place? Plato fixed that number as 5040, whereas Rousseau, who is the advocate of the free will, general will, he said that the number should be around 10,000. But Aristotle said it shouldn't be too large or too small. Because if it is too large, it is very difficult to manage. If it is too small, it is difficult to protect. So it should be not too large to manage, not too small to protect. So according to Aristotle, quality matters more. If the population is huge and people are ignorant, that doesn't help the state in any form. So that is about the population. So the quality matters over the quantity in case of population, according to Aristotle. The next one is territory. Territory is the land, the physical geographical area where people reside. So if there is no territory, there is no state, because people can be scattered everywhere, and people who don't live on a particular piece of land, it cannot be called a state. Okay, so territory means not just the land. Again, it includes the land, the rivers, the mountains, the lakes, and the sea around it, and also the sky above it. All these are the part of territory. And earlier, 3 nautical miles used to be the under the state in the oceans and seas that surround, and now it is 12 nautical miles. Still 12 nautical miles, it belongs to the state, whereas beyond the 12 nautical miles, it becomes the international waters again. So that is about territory. Next is government. Government is an organization which regulates and controls the external behavior of the people who live in the state. So government is like an agent of the state which fulfill the will of the state. So the state implements all its policies through government. If a state can be called as master, government is its servant. And there are different forms of government, we all know, like monarchy, aristocracy, democracy, dictatorship, and tyranny. And in the government also there are different organs like legislature, which is a lawmaking body, executive, which implements the laws, and judiciary, which interprets the laws and punishes the lawbreakers. So that is about government. Next is the fourth is sovereignty. Sovereignty is the most important element of the state. So much so, even if all the other three are present and sovereignty is not there, then the state cannot be considered as state. For example, India. India before independence is not a state. India had a government, India had a fixed territory. India had population. Since India did not have sovereignty, India was ruled by the British, hence it was not considered as a state. After independence, India got its sovereignty, so it is considered as a state. So what is sovereignty? Sovereignty is the supreme power of the state, which distinguishes state from other institutions that are present in the society. So how can we identify state from other institutions? Through the sovereignty. So sovereignty is the supreme power. It is derived from the Latin word superatus. And sovereignty again has two aspects, the internal aspect and the external aspect. The internal aspect, it has total control over all institutions, individuals, and organizations within the territory. That means whatever the state says, all the institutions, organizations, and the individuals, they have to follow the state. That is the command. Whatever the state says, it becomes a command, and that command has to be obeyed by everyone in the state. So that is about internal sovereignty. So what is external sovereignty? External sovereignty is the free will of the state to be independent from other similar states. So externally, it is not obeying anyone, it is not subjugate to anyone, it is not under the control of anyone, and it can do whatever it wants. So it is independent and from the control of other states. Internally, it has total control over all other organizations, institutions, and individuals of the state. And next is international recognition. International recognition is the recent addition, we can say. And international recognition is the identity or recognition that the new state seeks from other states. How can we do that? In order to do that, we have to establish international relations. And how can that be done? By joining international organizations like UNO and other regional organizations, whichever the state it belongs to. Like if it belongs to Asia, it can be part of SAARC or ASEAN or some other organization. Okay, but if it is belong to Europe, it can NATO, things like that. So there are so many others. If it belongs to Central Africa, they can belong to the African Union. So there are so many international organizations where the states can join and get the recognition when they are newly formed. So all these factors make state, even if one factor is missing, that cannot be considered as state. Okay. And before we close, we have to just we'll glance over the definitions. The first one is Woodrow Wilson. State is people organized for law in a within a definite territory. That is Woodrow Wilson. And Lasky considered state as a territorial society divided into the government and the subjects, claiming within its allotted physical area supremacy over all other institutions. So, whereas Woodrow Wilson's definition is very simple, the definition of Lasky is a little bit more elaborate, but both are capturing the essence of the state. Okay, so that's all for this now. Thank you. Please like the channel, subscribe the channel, and share the video. Thank you.